What's up everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Guitar channel, where science meets soul. I've got a doctorate in music and I'm using that knowledge to break down this riff from Snow Hey-O by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I give the overall difficulty a 7.3 out of 10. If you take a look at the left hand, it's using a lot of these irregular chord shapes that we don't normally see. And they're pretty stretched out. You're going to have a lot of dexterity in your fingers to get this. And within those chord shapes, you're going to have to do some hammer-on and pull-off turnarounds. And furthermore, there's even a bar chord. And within the bar chord, you have to do one of those hammer-on pull-off turnarounds. And it's pretty hard to do, so for this reason, I give it an 8 out of 10. The rhythm of this song has a lot of continuous 16th notes, but they're going to have these turnarounds, which are a little bit faster rhythm. They're like a little triplet rhythm almost. So you'll have to interject those in the middle of the 16th note pattern. And it also is flying. So this thing is zooming along, and it makes things a lot more difficult. So for this reason, I give the rhythm a 7 out of 10. The right hand in this song is exclusively just cross string picking. And it's going really fast, so it can be pretty tricky to jump around these strings at this speed. So for this reason, I give it a 7 out of 10. To determine the difficulty of each song, I add up the left hand, rhythm, and right hand difficulties and round out that average. Let's get started. This riff has a 4-chord repeating pattern, and what I'd like to do is just go 1 chord at a time. So the first chord you see here is actually derived from a G sharp minor bar chord here, but we're going to use a little bit of different fingers. And it's got your 2 finger on fret 6 of the 5th string, your 3 finger on the fret 6 of the 4th string, your index finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Here's what it sounds like. So let's break that down. You're going to play the 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 4th string, and now back to the 3rd string, and you're going to do a hammer on to fret 6, pull back off to fret 4, and then play the 4th string, 3rd string again, like this. And in the right hand, that would be down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Again, a little slower, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you want to try this out with the fingerstyle, I recommend using thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, middle. It's pretty nice. So in the right hand, that's thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, middle. The next chord is the same right hand picking pattern, but we're going to have to change the chord to a harder shape here. So this one's a little bit more difficult because we're so stretched out. And this one is derived from a C chord shape as if you had capo 4, which is an E chord. And what you're going to do is use your 3rd finger on fret 7, your 2 finger on the 6th fret of the 4th string, and then your index finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So it's a bit of a stretch. Sounds like that. And this part of the song sounds like this. So let's break it down. You're going to do the exact same right hand pattern of 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 4th string, and then back to 3rd string. Use your 3rd finger to hammer on fret 6, pull it off back to fret 4, and then play the 4th string, 3rd string again, like this. So the next chord's nice because all you're going to have to do is take this left hand shape here and just scooch it over to the next set of strings. So you're going from the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string, and you're keeping this shape and just moving it to the 6th, 5th, and 4th string. This chord shape is as if you had a G chord with the capo fret 4, which is a B chord. And you're going to do the exact same pattern here, which is nice. So you'll do 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. Use your 3rd finger to hammer on fret 6, pull it back off to fret 4, and then play 5th string, 4th string, like this. From here, you're going to have to do a little bit of a jump. You're going to have to jump up to frets 9, 8, and 6. But it's nice because this is the same shape as the second chord in this progression. So it's just slid up 2 frets. This is the same thing as playing a D chord shape as if you had capo 4, which turns out to be an F sharp major. And what you're going to do is the exact same pattern, which is 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, hammer on, pull off, 4, 3, down, down, up, down, up. And then all of these chords repeat. On the repeat of the chord pattern, the 4th chord gets changed to a different inversion from our higher one. So this is an F sharp major, and it's going to change to this shape, which is still an F sharp major. It's actually derived from this D chord shape with their F sharp in the bass like this, as if you're on capo 4, which turns out to be an F sharp major chord. So let's break this part down. You're going to have to do a bar on fret 4 with your first finger on the 5th and 4th string, and then your 3rd finger is on the 6th fret of the 6th string. So you'll do the same exact right hand pattern of 6, 5, 4, 5, 4. You're going to use your pinky here to hammer on fret 6, pull it off back to fret 4, play the 5th string, and then play the 4th string again, like this. When you put it all together very slow, it sounds like this. Your G sharp minor shape to your E chord shape. And we're going to have to jump across the strings here to our B chord shape. And then the same shape jumps up and goes back to the 5th string, fret 9 for our F sharp major. Back to home. So we're back on our G sharp minor, E chord, B chord, and then here we have our different F sharp major chord shape with an inversion on our bar chord. And that's it. The first tip I have for this song is to isolate the right hand and practice this with no left hand, open strings only. Essentially, that's all that's happening in the right hand. This is a right hand song. You're flying on the cross strings. So if you can't do this with open strings, then you're never going to be able to do it with the left hand. So really get this up to speed on its own, which is down, down, up, down, up, down, up. 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. Like this. Try to do 2 in a row. Try to speed it up. Try to get things going on this. And then add in the left hand. And you'll see it's a lot cleaner. The third tip I have for this song is to use your common fingers. So each of these chords is typically connected by 1 or 2 fingers, and we can use that to pivot between the chords. So let me break down which shapes have this. Now the first shape, our G sharp minor, shares our first finger on the 3rd string. So leave it there when you're changing to these chords. Now you got no help when you go to our B chord, because you just have to jump them across. And you got no help when you go up to our F sharp major chord. However, a common one that you don't really see too often is the F sharp major back to G sharp minor. We have our first finger on that third string already, so you can use that to guide it back to fret 4 and then add the rest of your fingers. That's going to kind of help you transition from that harder shift. Third tip I have for this song is to practice connecting the chords. Oftentimes I see a lot of students get the chord shapes right and then go to town, but then have trouble switching to the next chord, and then they get there and then they go running and then pause and go to the next chord and then run. So there's a big break between the chords. So we should work on this, and what I recommend doing is playing the chord progression and ending on the first note of the next chord. Instead of ending on the last note of the first chord, end on the first note of the next chord, like this. And that's going to train you to connect it. And you should do this with all the chords. Same as the next one. Just get good at that connection. And even that fourth one at the end as well. And you'll see when you go through it, it's going to really help connect and smooth this out. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments below. And I also take requests, folks. So if there's a song out there you want me to do, let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.